When I finally caught my first tuna off an SUP and realized just how hard it was to get out through anything more than 2-foot surf, I knew it was time to upgrade to a stealth kayak if I wanted to keep doing this. Fast forward 6 months later, and here I am, diligently listening to safety instructions at day one of the Adderrock fishing competition, while trying not to distract the crowd with the loud beeping of my GoPro camera. For context, it's been raining all week, tents have been flooded, gazebos have collapsed, and one tent even had a fire break out in the middle of the night. Luckily we were able to stop it before it got out of hand, but that's another story. Anyway, so here we are, getting our safety briefing before we paddle out.
Good luck. Good luck out there.
This is at 6 a.m. and there's a mix of excitement and nervousness in the air. So as soon as the briefing ends, everyone's off and out to get their fishing on.
Looking a bit hairy. Looking a bit hairy.
While some paddlers sprint out through the surf, I hang back a bit, not wanting to end up in a tangle with the others on the way out. This actually did happen, and one fisherman ended up a couple kilometers out to sea, chest deep in the water, only to learn he'd picked up a crack on the way out when another ski smashed into his. Luckily, all ended well, and between a jet ski, a lifesaver, and a heroic kayaker, the fisherman and the kayak were brought safely back to the shore with a tale for another day. But I digress. So this is what paddling out looks like. My first goal was to get to this little island called Shag Rock as quickly as possible. This is where you can get liveys, which had worked well the days before to catch tuna, Spanish, and even some snapper.
This is the next challenge, trying to get your rod out without breaking anything.
And in case it's not obvious, getting your rods out of the hatch is one of the most frustrating parts of kayak fishing. You always get hooked up and tangled. Add to that the eagerness of catching that big one you've been obsessing over for the last few weeks while the fishing's been quiet, and you can imagine how stressful things can get.
Phew! Liveys are jumping on, that's a beast.
Got a little slimy over here.
Exactly what I was hoping for.
Speaking of fish, it didn't take long to get my first fish for the day. Watch how long it takes in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, boy.
And you might be wondering why I'm paddling when I get a pull. To be honest, I just saw someone else doing this on YouTube, but I think there's something to it. Combined with a tighter drag, paddling fast when you get a pull helps to hook the fish and get fewer misses. But who knows? You might also be wondering why I'm awkwardly trying to reel in my other rod while I should be fighting the fish that's already on the line. Basically, you don't want to get a tangle when you have a fish on. It's chaos. And for all the guys out there who can handle a double hookup without any problems, well done, but I've had too many tangles even in my short career, so I'd rather just reel up.
What's that? Oh, it's a fucking Mac tuna. Bugger.
Anyway, as cool as it was to get a fish, this was just a mackerel tuna, which doesn't get as many points in the comp. They're also not very good eating. But I've broken the ice, so it's a good start. The day before this, another paddler paddled out a bit further than where I was to a spot called Boat Island. He got a double hookup with 2 decent Spanish mackerel, which is insane to land both of them. How do you land 2 fish at once? That's impressive. But maybe if I go there, I could get one too.
Getting into some of the wilder waters out here. You can see the current starting to swirl around. Waves from all directions. Whee! I've got 2 liveys out, so in a good position. It's definitely a new league league of locations to be fishing. A lot further out, a lot rougher, a lot wilder.
As I paddle out, I see it's a lot wilder than I'd expected. I actually felt a bit on edge. What happens if I hook something big out here? How far will I drift out? Is this really a good idea? Listening to the feeling in my gut, I turn around and paddle closer to the shore where there's less current. This actually turned out to be a really good move because this is where I ended up getting my Spanish, but not after losing one first.
I just had a big pull, a big run, literally took all of my braid down to the backing, and I managed to get him in nice and close, but unfortunately the hook pulled.
I can't even tell you how gutted I was. But I picked up and paddled back to the same spot, dropped another livey, and hoped like anything to the sea gods that I'd get another chance to hook up a Spanish in the comp.
Just put 2 liveys out. One is on a weight all the way down to the bottom, and the other one's just floating on top, so I'll just do a slow paddle drift, stay out of that current that's heading straight out to Boat Rock and beyond, and see what hops on. Yo, something fucking nailing it right now. Let's go, keep paddling. Whew.
And there we go. He came back for another taste of my live yucca. So stoked.
Whoa, 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 almost down to the braid again already. Maybe I'll get a second chance after losing that last one. On again, bro. Whoa!
Yay! Man, I just lost one as well, so maybe it's the same one.
Hey, Spanish.
And note to self, this is how not to gaff a fish. That was close. Almost got my leg.
Ew!
Spanish!
Oh yeah!
Fuck.
Spanish, bro.
This was my biggest Spanish to date, and a good addition to the rest of the fish I'd caught later in the comp,
Fucking A.
pushing me to 3rd spot overall. But just to keep us on our toes, just as he landed, the wind swung around from a safe onshore to a sketchy offshore with pelting rain and threatened to blow us all back out to sea. We all paddled for a while, struggling to get back to the beach, unsure if we were going forward or backwards as the rain closed in around us. But I won't lie, some part of me really got a kick out of the wildness of it all.
This is beautiful. Totally epic conditions. Water from above, water from below. Very cool. Bit of a paddle back, but there's a group of us, so it's okay. So we're at the end of the second day's fishing. We've had the morning heat from 6 until 10. And yeah, it's been awesome. Gonna start to make my way in now. Over there.
I keep
Hey mate, how are you going?
When we finally all made it back to the launch spot, the wind had died, the frenzy had subsided, and all I could think about was what the others had caught out there and where I'd end up in the rankings. But mostly, I was grateful for a full day's self-indulgent, uninterrupted kayak fishing, surrounded by an amazing bunch of people in a truly epic location. The added reassurance of a safety jet ski, as well as the company of other experienced paddlers, meant I could push myself beyond what I thought was possible, and it'll change the way I kayak fish for good. A huge thank you to Dennis and his crew for putting the event together and helping to fuel this tight-knit community from all walks of life, frothing around a shared passion for kayak fishing.